Hi, and welcome back to another episode of the History of Fan Anime. I'm your host, William Tao, and in today's episode, one of those great episodes you always like, is another interview. And today's I'm going to interview my friend Richard, who's been a long time, it's a long time friend that sort of got in really early when I just started, my getting into anime and that kind of stuff, she's get into the various different stories of that. But again, before I begin, I want to remind people to go down below, click like, click subscribe. Definitely, even just doing something simple as hitting like, really does help the YouTube algorithm. Again, now my friend Richard here, okay, I'll just warn you in advance, okay. He is, very knowledgeable and resourceful. He very touches on a lot of different topics and that kind of stuff, and is knowledgeable of a whole bunch of different fields, including computer tech, and he has a lot of experiences in different things. He has very broad range of views and very interesting, some really far ideas and theories and concepts, which a lot of people don't think about. So he's a really good person to talk about different ideas and bounce ideas off of. But there's one thing that I'll tell you, I'll warn you right away. He's not afraid to give his opinion, and he doesn't pull punches. Okay, so if you want, if he believes in something, or likes to talk about something, has a view on particular something, he won't hide or candy coated in any way. So I'm gonna have to be a little interesting, because again, this is YouTube, so I may actually have to make a special version for the Patreon, just because some of his the things are really riveting, as it were, and might be even too hot for YouTube. So we'll see. I said I think we're going to team up and do quite a few episodes. So again, yeah, you don't want to do that. Again, I do have my links for the super thanks and the PayPal and Patreon links below if you want to support me financially. This is the last week for the anime giveaway number 5. So if you haven't put in your selections, or want any goodies and that kind of stuff, this is your last week to do it. Again, any members that are, or subscribers that already have done a subscription or have donated, you do get first pick and do get a priority pick. So again, your picks get put above everyone else's as the first line there. Again, links below for that. And again, I've already posted all 4 videos, and I've posted the shipping instructions. So again, if you're interested in something, put it into the comments below, or in the shipping instructions below that one. And there's still quite a bit of stuff left on there. There's still lots of CDs and that kind of stuff. And I do believe I think most of the figures are still there. I think even the Madoka is still available. I think even the Sailor Moon might even be still there. But do check it out if you haven't. Check it out again. And if there's something you're interested in, let me know, and I'll see what I can do. All right. So today's topic is my friend Richard. I'm going to do a series of interviews with him. Again, we've done a lot of things. We've done done the road trips down to San Diego Comic Con and Anime Expo. He's worked on various different projects and that kind of stuff with the anime fan subs and that kind of stuff. And he was there during the very beginnings. Now again, I've already warned you that he's very very to the point. Okay, he won't hide around something, and he won't pussyfoot around. If he has an idea, an opinion, and as radical as it may be, he will let you know, and he'll be real straight up, forward, honest, and that kind of stuff. So again, he's because of this, he can come up with some pretty good stories, and he's been around the block a while, so he also has some really good stories. And so definitely, if you want to make comments of that, and if you want him to explore a particular idea, I do plan to do more interviews with him. You want to want more on a particular topic, or would like to see how I react to some of this stuff, because he's a good person to bounce ideas and maybe get me to answer and come up with things that I maybe not really have touched, and that's what part of the reason why I wanted to talk more with him, because there are definitely certain things that aren't talked about very much, and this will definitely help give you some ideas on that. So again, if you got a comment, leave a comment below, and they'll give me some more questions to ask Richard next time he comes on. Right, so I'm sure you can. That sort of leads you over go, and you were warned. All right. So, without further delay, let's get into the interview with Richard.
Because I don't even remember. When did you first hear about the store? Was it through Sheldon, or was it
Hear about what?
the store when you first came here?
When I first met you,
Yeah.
You mean in the club?
Yeah.
Oh shit, dude, that was a long time ago.
Yeah.
We're talking like 1990s. It was probably through Asa.
Asa, okay.
Because Asa said, "Oh, you want to go to this? I'm like, what is it?"
Well, how did you know Asa? Because
I knew Asa. Let's see, Asa was doing Aikido. He knew Sheldon. He knew Dave Ing, all these guys.
That's how I met Asa
Somehow
too.
it was in the mix.
Yeah.
And I think it was either through them, and it was martial arts related.
Okay, so I remember pulling up a picture of my old place. This is back when I first moved to Vancouver, and I was still going to university. We used to have these Christmas parties and things, or New Year's parties, where we gathered together and have dinner together. And here I'm pictured with Asa, and across the table I have my friend Ron, and of course right beside me is David Ing, who he refers to. And again, so out of this group, this is how I guess I got introduced with Richard through Asa. I was able to then, I guess he was doing Aikido, if I remember right. I know he was doing some sort of martial arts studying, and then of course Richard, who was also interested in the various martial arts fields and that kind of stuff. Got introduced to them, and then finally, we got introduced to the group in that way. So yeah, that brings Richard back for knowing him for many years, because this is like 1987. I think this is where this picture came from. So yeah, definitely a while ago. Just basically when I just entered a university, and we just came down to Vancouver.
Okay, all right. Yeah, because I met
And then Asa started.
David.
Yeah, and so all those guys knew you were doing your thing, and they went to your place.
Yeah.
When you were living way back in that place.
Yeah. About Madison Street. Yeah.
It's like you had to come in from the back, that weird place you lived in. And then from there, then I sort of got involved in it because I was bored, because I was still building my career in the government. And then I sort of helped you with some Laserdisc stuff, some subtitling stuff. We did the trips to San Diego.
That was, I remember that one.
I think we did at least 3 trips.
I know, I remember one of the trips we 1991 or something like that.
It was circa 19. No, actually it was later than that.
Yeah.
All the trips you and I did with that group, with Lyle and those guys, from 1995 to 2000. Yeah. So all our trips were in the late 90s, mid to late 90s. And I think we did about 3.
Yeah, we did a couple, that's for sure. But I remember some of them we used the vans. Some of them, I remember one time we used that big land yacht that you dug out of nowhere.
My Oldsmobile. That was the first trip. And we had to get they said there was a crack in the engine. No, it was in the engine.
Was it the engine? I thought we had a leaking tire. We kept on pumping more.
We did do that. We did do that because we didn't have time to get better tires. It was sitting, and one of them had a slow leak. Yeah. There was a crack in the engine, so we had to keep pouring oil in it. And then Med and Lyle were in the truck.
That's right. Yeah. That's right.
So it was me, you, Bill, and that big fucking tall white kid. I can't remember.
James.
Was that his name? I don't know.
James. Yeah, James. For sure.
Okay, so the trip you're referring to was our first trip that we did, and we did it actually quite earlier. This is we did that trip in 1990. Anyway, so yes, it was a trip that basically that brought us through San Francisco, San Jose, Los Angeles, and all the way down to San Diego, all the way from Vancouver. So it's it's like a 26-hour drive if you tried to do it all in one go, but we didn't. So we unfortunately did lots of stops. But yes, you just comment. Yes, so we didn't have transportation all in one vehicle to do it, so we decided to split it up into two different vehicles. He pulled an old Oldsmobile that he had lying around, and brought it out there. And again, it had a sort of I guess a crack in the engine or something like that. So it leaked oil all the time. So literally every time we'd have to, we'd had to go, we had to, run a whole bunch of, kilometers or whatever. And then every time we had to refill for gas, we had to check the oil, like do a dip in oil. And then basically we had to, retop it back up so that, so that would compensate for it. And we literally had to do that for every single stop, oil stop that we had to do, right? The other thing that we had to do is he also commented that there was a slow leak in the tire, right? Because again, we didn't have a chance to change the tires or anything because it's just been sitting there for like such a long time. So there's just a slow leak. So what we did is again, we couldn't do anything about it. So we ended up also stopping by these auto shops and that kind of stuff, and of course the gas stations to get that temporary fill, like that foam fill stuff. Basically, you pump it in, and you pump it into the tire, and it basically is supposed to like form some sort of seal, anti-leak seal or whatever, in the tire. But the thing is that we kept again. Every time it sort of got a little bit lower or whatever, we'd have to repump more air into it. We'd put more of the steel into it, and hopefully that we'd cover it up. And I remember, I think we bought like 3 bottles. I mean, I know you're not even supposed to use one, right? You're supposed to let it shift around and it's supposed to harden and cure inside the tire. But I remember we bought like 3 tubes or bottles of that tire fill stuff, and we pumped it into the tire. So that tire probably near the end was like literally probably like 70%, 90% full of this expanding whatever foam tire patching fill stuff, and only like 10% full of actual air. So I mean, it was just ridiculous what we did have to do to that car, but we got it there, and we got it all the way back, and yeah. Then I think after that, I think he just junked the car or something. But yeah, so that's that part of the story, using those vehicles. He also comments that Lyle and Med, the other 2 people that were with us, they used this pickup truck that I think Med had, and they were driving along along using that vehicle.
And I had this, nobody else knew how to drive because he didn't have a fucking driver's license. So it was me and you swapping out in the driver's seat.
Yeah.
And I was deathly sick. I had really bad bronchitis or flu.
Is that?
Yeah, I was like fucking dying like a dog on a road trip. That was the worst thing I ever had to do.
That was a crazy road trip. That was for sure.
Do you remember when he was talking about Nintendo? He was playing Nintendo naked in bed.
Okay, right, sure, right.
I remember this story, he told us.
Okay, sure, right.
Do you remember who he was playing Nintendo with? It was at a convention.
Was it? Okay, right.
He had Nintendo at the time. He had one of the first people that bought Nintendo.
Okay, sure.
And he brought it to play at the hotel.
Right, okay.
Do you remember who he played Nintendo with, naked in bed?
No idea.
Marilyn Chambers. You don't remember that story?
No, he never told me that story.
Yeah, he told that story. He was at this convention.
Okay.
I don't know what the convention was for, but best of my memory, he said he met Marilyn Chambers.
Okay.
And somehow they got talking, they got to know each other, and he asked Marilyn Chambers, have you ever played Nintendo? She's like, what's a Nintendo? He goes, oh, we have Nintendo. They have the console and shit. Yeah. So it's like, we can set it up and on the TV and we can come play Nintendo with it. She goes, well, why don't you bring it to my room? And so he ended up naked in bed, playing. Well, he didn't sleep with her, from what I understood. They were just naked in the room and everything. Yeah. and she was in her skivvies or whatever, and he was playing Nintendo with Marilyn Chambers in her room. You don't remember that? I remember that clear as day when he told me that.
I do not remember that.
Yeah, it was Marilyn Chambers.
Cool.
Okay, so yeah, now that I actually think about it, I actually do a little bit of research. There actually, I now sort of do remember that. Again, my memory's not as good as it was, but he did trigger something, and yes, I do remember, and I blocked out his name because I didn't want to, get the story from someone else other than him. But yes, I do sort of remember. Maybe I'll do an interview with him. If you want it or you're interested in more good stories, then put it in the comments below, and I'll make sure I get an interview with him. All right. But yes, I do remember they used to go down to Las Vegas, and at this time, the CES, the Consumer Electronics Show, was held the same week that the AVN Awards, the Adult Video Awards, were being held. So basically, if you were in Las Vegas that weekend, you could go to either show type of thing, and like there was lots of quote informal crossover, right? So the nerds and the porn stars, kind of really mixed together, quote per se. So yes, at that time, I remember, yes, we had the ability to make our game consoles portable. Even now, when we went down to San Diego and we went and rented the minivans, we made it so that the Super Nintendo or the TurboGrafx ran off of the 12-volt inverter, and we had a Commodore we used one of the old Commodore 64 monitors, and we had an inverter to invert the power and all that kind of stuff. So yeah, we did have portable devices and game consoling while we were on the road. So we did, have the ability to bring these consoles to the conventions and that kind of stuff. So yeah, doing a hookup like that, I sort of remember that. But yeah, I'm gonna confirm that with him, just to make sure that I didn't screw up any details and that kind of stuff on that. And again, if you're interested in that, write a comment below, and I'll make sure I get an interview with him for that.
So in the last 5 to 10 years, I've been working in the movie and TV business as a background actor.
Yeah.
Okay, I told you about that, right? Yeah. Last project I did a while ago was I worked on the new Shogun miniseries for a year.
Okay, right.
Okay, so I was playing a fishing villager.
Okay, right.
And a guy in a guard tower.
Guy in a guard tower.
I'm actually in the trailer too.
Okay. Oh, okay. Cool.
And it was okay pay. It wasn't bad. It wasn't like I was a bajillionaire.
Oh yeah, no.
Made me some coin, some scratch. Got to meet some interesting people. But the reason I'm injecting that in there, because I've done lots of mini jobs in the movie and TV business as a background actor. But I thought it'd be an interesting thing that you can put in there about where else I'm connected with entertainment, right?
Sure, yeah.
Because I knew guys in choreography, stuntmen guys, new props guys. I worked beside stars. I literally was within spitting distance of The Rock a few times.
Oh yeah.
He was literally just standing right next to me.
Okay.
Right, shit like that.
What movie was that on?
It was mostly on Skyscraper.
Okay. All right.
That was from the New West in Coquitlam. Coquitlam and New West.
Okay. Right.
Working with all kinds of people. Like Kurt Russell. I was on a Godzilla project with him for one day. So I was one of the guys in the background working in some passport office or whatever, trying to get my passport renewed. And it's like I had to give Kurt Russell a really contemptuous stare. So, hey, childhood hero. It's like you're working with your childhood hero.
That's cool.
Hold on.
Okay, I hope you found that really interesting. Again, I do plan to do more different episodes with Richard, because he has a lot to to comment on. And again, if you have any sorts of topics you want to suggest, or you want more elaboration on something, maybe to actually spend an episode talking about a particular concept, by all means, leave a message below, and then I'll make sure the next time I touch base with them, we'll get more on that. All right. So until next time, I will see you again.